Hey everyone, here's how childcare providers are implementing AI in 2026 to save hours on a weekly basis, all without having to add another app to their system. In this video, I'm going to show you how to automatically send receipts to parents as soon as a payment comes in, all without having to touch your computer. Childcare providers are often dragged into repetitive admin work, such as sending invoices, sending receipts, checking in on payments, sending payment reminders, and all of this stuff quietly takes hours away. Hours that you would much rather be spending running your actual program or just enjoying the results of your hard work. So in this video, we're going to tackle just one thing, and that's sending receipts right after a payment has gone through. Let's get right into it. So let me explain everything that's going on right here, just so you have a better understanding on what's going on behind the scenes. All of these blocks are called nodes, but we'll just call it steps. So step 1, step 2, step 3, etc., all the way down to this Google Sheet step. Now the first step is going to consist on a Gmail step. And this Gmail is linked to your Gmail, of course, and it's just acting as your eyes and ears to your inbox. It's waiting to receive any payment notification that comes from a parent. So this is what triggers the whole system. Okay, so that's how we started. This is the second step, which is basically just stripping out all of the data that the Gmail contains. Then that works with our third step, and that's going to be some code. And all this is going to do is basically filter out everything we want, like the child's name, the parent's name, and the amount, when it was paid, etc. Now, on to our next step, which is going to involve your Google Sheet document. Now, this Google Sheet document is going to contain a database on the children and parents that you currently operate with. So here you can see I have a database that contains some parents and some children, and along with the parents' Gmail. Now, for demo purposes, I just put my burner email, and these names aren't actually real, they're just generated. So just a disclaimer there. But what that step in the system is doing is referencing to this database right here. So it can see that Sarah Michelle Carter is the mom to Noah James Carter, and her email is, it would be whatever her actual email is. Here it's exentum@gmail.com. And then Daniel Robert Thompson is the dad to Liam Alexander Thompson, etc., etc. So let's move on to the next step. This is very crucial. This is where your rules get applied. So you're organizing everything into a very clean structure. You're going to generate a receipt ID if that's how you conduct your receipt sending. You're going to be locking this payment into next week's payment. And by the way, I'm going to show you exactly what this outputs and what are the results when this runs. And then our third to final step is going to be a PDF generator. This is going to actually generate a receipt that's very clean and professional in a PDF file so that it can be sent to the parent's Gmail, which brings us along to the following step, second to last step. This is where we send that receipt along with a note to the parent, just so they're notified that we received their payment, and so they have a receipt for their files and our files. Third to final step. This is where we actually generate what the parents are going to see, and it's going to be in a PDF format. And the beauty behind this is that there's no templates that you need to fill, there's no typing, there's no copying and pasting. It's all going to be done inside the system using all the data that we've been accumulating. This is how this PDF ends up being very clean and professional. Now that brings us back to another Gmail node. This is a step where the parent receives a normal email with the PDF attached. Nothing for them to log into or sign up to. And finally, that brings us down to our final step where everything gets logged. Now that you have an understanding on what's going on behind the scenes, how it's collecting data, let's put it to the test. Now here I have a example on what a parent payment notification would end up looking like, but what I've noticed is that a lot of childcare providers receive payment in different ways. So if you don't receive it through Zelle, maybe you receive it through Venmo, then we can always tailor something specifically to your operation. So if we take a look, Sarah Michelle Carter has sent the money. The amount is for $500. It's on the 16th. So let's send it over. Now for demo purposes, I'm going to execute the start of the system manually, but this wouldn't be the case for when it's up and running in a real live business. Okay, so let's hit start workflow so we can see the results it gives us. Hit it. We're watching it work in real time. You see all these steps are being completed in front of your eyes. PDF, receipt was generated, message was sent, and now it's logging in all that information onto the Google Sheets. So if we go over to the Google Sheet, let's see the results it gave us. Okay, and this is the result that the system gave us. Receipt ID, we have the date that it's been paid, January of 16th, and we know that's right. Child care period covered, which is the next week after the payment. Parent name, child name, and they match. Amounts paid, payment method, parent email, receipt preview. Now, this is what I'm kind of excited about because right here on the same Google Sheet, if you just click that link, you see the receipt that the parent sees, and now you have it on file as well. Here we have all the professional details that a regular receipt would have. We have the tax ID, which is, of course, relative, the receipt ID, the date that it was paid, the payment period, who it's billed to, and the child. Here we have a description on what this payment is about, and this is tuition payment, the amount $500. And here we have a little disclaimer that says this receipt was generated automatically upon payment. Now let's head over to our email. This is going to be from the point of view of the parent. So let's click it, and it says, "Hi, Sarah Michelle Carter. Attached is your receipt. Thank you, little angels." And of course, you can tailor this to whatever you want your message to say. So let's look at the attachment, which is going to be the attachment that they can download on their end. As you can see, this is the same receipt that we just saw. Okay, now I have another notification in my draft. This one is going to be sent on Saturday. The other one was sent on Friday, which is usually when parents are supposed to pay. But let's see if we can trick the system to see if it handles a late payment. Let's go ahead and send that. Go back to our system. So let's execute our workflow and see what it outputs. Here we hit execute workflow. All the steps are running. And now we know what all these steps do. PDF was generated, message sent, and now it's been logged to our Google Sheets. Let's head on over to Google Sheets and see the result. Okay, here we have our Google Sheet, and another row was added. Elena Cruz, child Mia Cruz, amount paid $500, payment method Zelle, receipt preview. Let's just make sure this is correct. Has the right data for the right payment notification. Bill to Elena Cruz, child Mia Cruz. Everything is in accordance to who sent it. Now let's head on over to our Gmail. And this is what Elena would hypothetically see. "Hi, Elena Cruz. Attached is your receipt. Thank you, little angels." Double check the attachment. There we have it. Correct information. And there it is. I just showed you how to turn a payment into a receipt, all without having to depend on third-party apps or having to do any manual follow-ups. That one change alone helps you remove a lot of small and repetitive tasks throughout your week. If you're curious to see how this can work with your system, then I'll be happy to walk through it with you one-on-one. There's going to be a link down below to book a time. Nonetheless, keep making your children's day and have a good one. Take care.